Say hi to James. Made me an entrepreneur. Teaching me day after day after day till it all was a blur. Now he on tour, he could drop in your city tonight. Never the Zen coming in for the fight. Making that powerful statement, saying that you meant for greatness. Better be ready for absolute.
Hey, good morning. I can't imagine having a day where we're not spending some time talking about you, your goals, your purpose, and absolute motivation. Listen, I'm making adjustments, trying to develop some things that are going to be awesome for the nation. When I got together this morning with the team, we were talking about the things coming up, and I want to make sure you're aware of them. You don't want to miss the opportunity to join us in Lehigh. We have the First Lady of Sierra Leone coming in to speak about child abuse and sexual abuse of children, and I'll be speaking there as well. The opportunity to be able to address something so serious, to be able to help fix and challenge people to do more, be more, to magnify the idea that we must protect our children. You don't want to miss that. If you can be there for the 22nd, please do. That's in Lehigh, Utah. That's going to be amazing because you have world attention, world leaders there, and I'm supposed to be there to be able to encourage, to inspire, and to challenge. You got to know that I'm going to give it my all. If you can't be there, I ask that you pray for us, pray for our impact so that we can help reach kids and touch them in a way that no one else can. It's my mission, our cause, to do more than to motivate, but to instigate change. If inspiration can't take people from one place to the next, if we can't move people from where they are to where they can be, then we miss the mark. Well, I've decided I didn't want to miss the mark. I wanted to become the mark, become the target, become the thing that goes out and say, I want to be better. I want to do better. I want to stimulate others to do the same so that the new mark or the new standard of what's acceptable, what we can be, becomes what we reflect to others. Ah, and then we have this thing coming up that's just going to be next level amazing. November the 23rd. If you're anywhere near Tennessee, you got to come. This is a five-star resort. I'm talking about it's got an in-house bowling alley. It's got theater inside. It's got a ton of stuff all within the confines. Marble everywhere, first class chef and all that stuff. But it's all for only $200 you can get a ticket. I promise you, you'll never be able to get a five-star resort for $200 again. This is a give back, a giveaway. Seating is limited, but you got to get a hold of Keystone Resort. If you look up Keystone Resort, you'll see that it's the Stone Theater inside of there. We're promoting that. I have Larry Namer, the guy who started E-Television, entertainment TV, what you've been watching all these years, where you found the Kardashians and all those people. He's the guy that began that. And when you hear his story of how he challenged and changed the world, that's going to be amazing. But not just him. When you see the hypnotist March music come on and he jokes and he laughs and you get to see people do stuff you never thought they'd do, but it's going to be amazing. But we're going to also face some serious things. We're going to have Cypress Adaptive there. They'll be showing this new technology all the way from Germany. The founder of this creation has allowed us in war-torn areas, third world countries, wherever you are, even in America. If a person loses an arm or losing a leg up above the knee or below the knee, he has an invention that can make a prosthetic socket in 5 minutes. Just so you know that the normal route is probably 2 weeks that they can make one. This will give people something immediately. I'm talking about life-changing stuff, and we get to debut that here. This event is going to be able to touch so many lives. If you're an amputee, make sure you get there. Don't allow anything to get in your way. Loretto, Tennessee is where we're going to be showing this technology. It's life-changing. The socket that I wear, they made, and you'll be able to be a part of that. Well, let me take this to a whole nother level because you're going to love this. We have celebrities that are going to be there as well. One of the celebrities that is coming, of course, you know Quentin Aaron from Blind Side, the movie, the guy who played Big Mike. His real name is Quentin Aaron, but he's coming. He's going to be singing a song, telling a story. And I'm going to tell you right now, his story is going to be amazing because you get to hear the story behind the movie. When you see that line that's always epic in the movie where Mike says, I never had a bed before. When you hear Quentin's real story, you understand why that came from the inside out and why that resonates 15 years later. So don't miss this event for those guys alone. We got Kelly Cardenas coming. We have women speakers that are going to be given the stage to make an impact. We got panels that are happening. We got Dylan Berry. Dylan, so if you hear American Idol, you see, so you think you can dance. All of those songs, all of those epic shows you've been watching, the guy behind the music is right there. Over 70 billion downloads. That's totally different. That's around the world so many different times over with song. He's got 29 platinum of records, albums and stuff. We got him coming. Man, we have Dave Austin, the mindset coach. You're talking about guys who are second to none. I'm talking about guys who have done who bestsellers, international bestsellers, New York Times bestsellers, USA Today bestsellers. I'm talking about in Barnes and Noble bestsellers, all in that place. This has never been done before. I don't care what group comes out, whether it be Inspire, Uspire, Uspire, You Know Spire, whatever it is, to pull these people together and then give you access to them. Why keep going to places and just sitting there watching their faces? I'd rather sit still and instill back and forth and get something. Some of you don't have access to great things because you don't have access to the people. But what if you did get that? We have Chris Kaufman, the founder of StockX. That's right, where you get your shoes, all that stuff. He's coming. This is going to be probably one of the most monumental things and opportunities that you've ever had. I keep looking around and wonder, how do you get on these stages? How'd that happen? How are you able to go get places that are next level, high end, stages phenomenal, green rooms amazing, everything about this? When you get to see some of the footage and I share some of that with you, you'll be like, my God, I need that. We have some of our sponsors that'll be there. You're going to see that if you wanted to know how to become a speaker and get to the next level, how do you get things that you've never had before? You got to be around people that you never would have been around before. If you can get around them, you get a peek in how to do it. If you want to learn how to be a speaker, man, we got the school.com/speak. You can learn to be a speaker. You can get the module. You can watch that. The reason why most of you don't have the opportunities is not because people are holding you back, is that you're not forcing yourself into the right rooms, because when the door closes, another will open, but you have to still turn the handle. But can you handle what it takes to be there? Have you fixed the things that get in the way, the self-sabotaging behaviors we have? You hear people say, I don't pay to play. You just pick me. Well, how are they going to pick you if you can't put yourself in the atmosphere? You got to qualify yourself. You got to be able to manage your voice and your inflection, but you also have to be able to get along with people. This whole concept and idea that someone owes you is a lie. No one owes you anything. You owe you. You got to get up and beat the hell out of yourself, get rid of the things that get in the way of your communication, your relationship building, and then be able to say, I'm here, coach, put me in the game. But anyone that you call coach, if they can't correct you, then they're not the coach for you. You got to be able to respect them. You got to be able to listen. And if you can't listen, you can never be heard. Because respect is given, respect is earned, respect is reciprocal. One of the greatest things that isn't typical when it comes to people is that folks don't know what it takes to get to the next level. I want you to learn how to get there. I want you to learn how to earn the opportunities. How do you get on the platforms? How do you take things from one level to the next? What makes absolute motivation different is that we're able to create content that is original. We're able to get speakers and bring people together that can change you, change the world, speak life into you, and then give you access to those very people. I am not a YouTube personality. I am James Dixon, day in and day out. What I do off stage, on stage, backstage, I am still me, and I pour myself into everything. If you know the number of hours that I start off at 3 a.m. and by 2 a.m. I'm sometimes still up because I pour so much of myself into what I do and the craft and the people, not messages. My messages come out of my heart, out of my living, but that is because I'm always giving. I'm always trying to find relationships that can be reciprocal. Give people the platform so they can go next level. I think that what motivates me more than anything is the idea of this. If I have access to greatness, then I owe myself to absorb all of that and then ring that into the lives of others. Because if I can duplicate that, if I can get you to catch on to what you can be, if I can show you how to get there, then that's my job. There are days where I have to step back and take a rest. So if you see that, we're like, hey, what happened Wednesday? Wednesday, I was traveling on a plane and I'm looking for those. Where are my teammates that I can grab, hand the baton to and say, it's your round. It's your time to step up, step in and go on. That's what we look for. You're like, man, everybody's talking about, I want to make six figures or more speaking. You'll get that automatically if you do right. Here's what I mean by doing right. You get in the right camp, right circle, the right relationships will put you in position so that automatically happens. It's a byproduct of profitability is a byproduct of impact. You make the right impact in the right circles, and I'm not talking about just dressing up. I'm talking about addressing the things that help people get up. If your messages are simply going to be, I've got four things to show you that you're an infomercial, but you have to be informal enough to be able to instill enough so that people can have an intellect enough to hear what you have to say and apply it to the day-to life. People that win are already winning, hear you, and they don't want to just hear you say stuff they've always heard. We get into these quotes, we get into these things like we're talking to a church and let the church say amen. We say the same thing over and over again. Lion, king of the jungle. Knowing damn well that no lion has ever lived in a damn jungle. We just keep saying that. The truth is, stop trying to be a beast and understand that you are already better than a beast. Man, we have dominion over beast. I see lions as powerful they are being in the zoos. I see lions as powerful they are in a circus. I'm not trying to be the biggest. I'm not trying to be a beast because those can be contained. I'm trying to be the best me because the best me can be tested. The best me can be. Oh man, watch this. You're sitting there now. I hope you're listening. I hope you're applying. You are better than just being a beast. You got a mold that is all powerful. You got a mold where you can speak to God and God speaks to you and you can speak and have authority. When you walk in a room, there's a presence about you. There's some of you who have been told your whole life, you light up a room. There are folks who tell you that you're not big enough, not this, that, and the other. You've got to be able to learn how to quiet the noise and believe what God has said about you in spite of whatever has happened to you. I think that is why I get the opportunity to do. I'm going to be speaking to a Fortune 5 company, a Fortune 5 company in 2 weeks. How did I get the opportunity? Because I was in a small room speaking, and one person who had influence over someone who was a decision maker for that company heard me speak. I spoke to a room with a small room as if it was a full room, as if it was the last time I'd ever speak. And when I speak, I instill, I encouraged, I spoke from the heart to the heart. Next thing I know, I get a call. Hey, can you come do this? Not once, but twice on the 12th and 13th of next month. 2 opportunities in a Fortune 5 company. They said, once they hear your story, I believe it'll change everything. Well, I think I can change everything because I had to change everything about me so that I could step into a place and do something with somebody else. Listen, I'm going to tell you right here and now, if you want to be great, it's going to take everything. I know Jessica is going to be showing up here. Where's Jessica? She just came off a stage in Atlanta. If you would have seen her. Oh, there she is. Listen, it is good to see you today. I'm glad you came on. I'm
Thank you.
sorry we missed Wednesday, so we're making up for it now. You and I was on a flight and all that stuff, but here we are, and I'm so glad you're here. Would
Thank
you
you.
talk a little bit about what it was like? We went together to Atlanta, Georgia, to the International Christian Film Festival, and you spoke. Would you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, yes, yes. I didn't have any expectations. I showed up with the open heart, open mind, and it was the most incredible experience I could have ever imagined. Amazing speakers, incredible camaraderie, camaraderie. It was a very life-changing weekend. Not only just speaking my story on stage, but the relationships that I built afterwards and conversations that I'm still having with people from that event. So it was incredible. It was so incredible.
What I love is the fact that, you know, here we are. We had people who were in movies and had history in movies, with John Claude Van Damme to you name it. All these folks are there, and there's a wonderful thing I noticed that whether a person was a volunteer working there or the person that was a person on stage, you treated them the same. What's the mindset that you have that you didn't treat the stars any different than the people who didn't have any rank, any bars, if you will?
Well, I mean, I came up from nothing. I came up from nothing. I was the person helping before. I was the person behind the scenes. I know what
Mm.
it's like to be in those jobs. And many times those roles are not appreciated. And it's my goal to treat everyone as equal. Everyone's human, everyone's special, everyone has a unique gift. Just because your gift isn't showcasing right now doesn't mean it won't be showcasing later. No one is above anybody else. We're all humans.
Come on. That's the reason why when we think about it, your gifting can open doors for you, but you got to be willing to be humble and love everybody that's around the door. Because you never know. Sometimes those volunteers have access to, they have access to people, they have influence. You never know who they know. And the way you treat them, word can spread. In fact, it's best to even look at people. How people treat people they don't think are essential is important because how you see them treat them will tell you who they really are. You were there. What I love about it, you and your husband came. All the things that you had prepared before taking stage, all the things you had thought about. How different was it from the thought and the reality?
I'm the type of person to really visualize myself doing something repeatedly before I actually do it. And
Mhm.
so the vision that I had in my head was exactly how it came out.
Wow. To be able to manifest that, I was sitting there. Most people are always talking about, like, man, I'm gonna have this dream and this goals. If I could only get on stage, if I can only do this, if I could only have these opportunities. Instead of it, if only, you made it happen. You went and did it. You manifested not only this interaction, this relationship, but people referred me to you and said, hey, here's a young lady you should be. And then when you showed up authentically as you, no airs, no pretense, no ego. And I want to thank you for that. What's been the key for you staying grounded as you chase your dreams and seeing them manifest?
I think the main thing that really kept me grounded was the years where I tried to force things myself, thinking I had control,
Mm.
and nothing was working out. Nothing worked out. The minute I let go and surrendered to God and said, okay, God, you have all control, just guide my steps. Where should I go? Doors opening fast, 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 fast. I cannot say this is myself at all. I
Yeah.
cannot. I
So
cannot.
I love that because that's the idea we have. People often tell me, think that it's, hey, this happens because of me, because of who I knew. No, it's God. When He orders the steps, your steps are directed. You get there, and then when they're directed, they're also protected. There's nobody can pull you out of a spot. There's no scarcity in this thing. Like most people, if they came from nothing, end up with a chip on their shoulder. What is it that took that off your shoulder and gave you a burden for other people?
You know, it's funny because during my tough times, during those dark moments, there was a little image in my heart of future version Jessica.
Mm,
Future version Jessica. And over the years, as I'm introspecting and feeling I don't have energy for this, or this is hard, or I'm feel like I'm falling apart, I realized the key to propel, you can't be weighted down. You
Mm.
have to really let it go. The past is the past. You have to let go of the past. However, the past gives you tools to figure out what you need to do right now. The
Yeah.
past gives you all your preparation, but you have to let
Ooh.
go of the hurt. You have to let go of the pain. And you have to transform that into gold. And
Yeah.
you give that gold to other people to help them.
Well, man, listen, I look at it this way. I'm so freaking excited to watch your path, to have had from my first interview on the podcast, talking, having Joe Ingram say, hey, listen, this is a young lady that you got to see. And the more that we talked to him was like, because I had said, my goal, I want to see Absolute have absolutely authentic voices, new people that come and grow, and you watch their path. It's the hero's journey, right? And instead of waiting to introduce somebody after they become somebody, catch them as they're developing. Well, let me say that differently, because you already were somebody. It's just that the exposure for people to find out who that somebody was coming behind. But I think that's the way it should be. Develop who you are. Then when the spotlight comes, it doesn't overshadow you. You get to be the real you. Otherwise, you got to play a character. Imagine if you had to be like, "Hi, I'm Jessica," da da da, and get all that fake hype stuff. Really, you're just being you and authentically developing you and growing you. And I think one of the greatest things is that we had a conversation, and you were like, I don't want to be like anybody else. And I was like, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. You to be you. And then when you debuted on Absolute Motivation, can you talk about how did that feel coming on it or seeing yourself, hearing your voice alongside Tony Robbins and all these other greats? How about that? Tell me about how that was to you.
It's kind of like it's like things have changed so fast. I'm just like I take a step back. I'm like, what? Like, you know, I can't say it's unbelievable because it is believable.
That's
You
right.
know, I always believe that there's something more, but to see it actually happening, I'm like, it's like that shock value, like, wow, this is really happening.
Oh,
And at the
wow.
same time, James, I'm ready.
Ooh. You see that? Look at that. Wait a minute. This is what I love. So on November 23rd, you go from your first outing was International Christian Film Festival with movie stars. People have done Facing the Giants, guys who have started action-packed movies, Hollywood top movies, all that stuff. Your first outing is shared stage with that. Now you're going to be on with Larry Namer, Dylan Barry, Chris Kaufman, Kelly Cardenas again. You got all these. There, the sky is not the limit for you. Do you realize that? And as you realize that, does it also let you know that you were born for this? I'm not just ready. I was born ready. I was built ready. But like you were
Yes.
talking about your past, you've surpassed that in order to be here. And watch as I can't wait for people to continually see you as you continue to grow and evolve. And that's the best thing about it. They get to watch your journey.
Yes. And you know, it's so funny. I had started my podcast to show people my journey because when I was trying to figure things out, there was no
Mhm.
one's journey I could follow. Everyone had already made it,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah. 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 Isn't that usually how it is? They show up, come learn from this billionaire, da 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 da. Well, man, I'd like to have seen how he made it, because it's different. I remember meeting, sometimes you meet people. I was thinking of Brian Smith from Ugg Boots, right? Meeting him, and I was like, I knew the boots, I didn't know the guy. So I meet the guy, and when he started talking about how he made it, I was more interested in that than I was fascinated with hearing the story about how big I got. I want to hear the journey, man. What did you do? How did you face this? How close were you to broke? When I met the Nick Fry, the CEO, the guy who made McLaren, the vehicles, and he talked about how he bet everything, and he and his wife were on the verge of eating beans and weenies for life, right? He was like, man, I was in a trailer with nothing, but all I had was the concept and a belief, and now look at him. But if you don't have the ability or the idea that you can, if I lost it all, will I still have everything? Yeah, I still have my integrity. I still have my calling. I still have my purpose. I still have my talents. If I get the mindset and I get the heart set, the skill set will pick me up when I don't have anything else. You have so many things that you want to do. What are the vision? What's the vision for you for the future?
Oh, James. It's a big one.
All right.
It's a big one. It's a big one. Um, my calling is in the consulting industry,
Mhm.
and the vision I have is to shake it up.
Mm,
There are giants that are doing things that has impacted many families
mm.
for greed. My consulting firm is backed by God.
Come on now.
And with God, God can shake down any mountains. You know the wall of Jericho, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the vision.
So listen, when you have a big vision, God will give you the steps to be in order to do so, and He's ordering yours. And I'm looking forward to watching that. In fact, there was something I was going to say about not only the journey. Oh, you found out how many hours does it take when you go do a speaking engagement? How many hours get eaten up? Because I don't think people realize they're like, man, I want to be on platform with stars and travel and do that. How many hours get eaten up for that time on stage?
Yeah. So weeks of preparation, right?
Mhm.
So not only just the speech itself, but how do I make sure I can really convey my energy on stage?
Mm,
You know, I think there's a really underestimation about what it feels like to practice in the mirror versus
mhm.
standing up in front of people, right? So
Right.
for myself, I'm taking singing lessons, and I forced myself to perform in front of a crowd, a fairly small crowd, weeks ago. Because I'm like, I
Mm.
need to be in front of people before I get on that stage.
There
And so
you
I
go.
did that, and I was like, whoa, I was shaking, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's really getting grounded in yourself and seeing how you come across, really just mentally getting in the zone. Like I had to make sure that I'm talking to people like as if I'm talking to you. And that
Mhm.
takes weeks of mental preparation. And
Yeah.
then you get to your speech, right?
That's
And
right.
even with that, like every single day, I'm figuring out how am I going to open? What words am I going to say? What's my flow? Practicing with my husband, practicing with the mic, rehearsing, right? So it's leading up, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Practicing sending you my outline, getting
Yep.
feedback. So it's like a refinement. It's not like I did it one time, right? So
That's
it's a
right.
refining process. And you have to work on so many different small components that are often overlooked, but are very, very critical for a successful speech or a flop.
Mm. Wait. I love that. But I'm going to tell you, what about the day before? Have you found that, like, the rest that people like, hey, make sure you're well rested? How much rest do you get when everybody's trying to connect with you and all
I
that
didn't
stuff?
sleep. I didn't sleep, and I was fighting a cold,
Yeah,
you know?
that's what
So
usually happens, right? So you're sitting there like, man, I'm getting ready to go out, and they're like, this is a big moment. Make sure you're rested. You might as well cancel that. You're going to get all of those things come against you, and you'll be like, and even like protect your energy, man. You know how many people are coming at you and all that, and even if you're like, no, you still got to overcome a cold. I mean, the something wrong in the hotel. They don't have. You'll go through challenges, but that's just the final test to make sure. Listen, how bad do you really want it? And will you let those things affect you? And you got to be professional enough not to get on the mic and be like, guys, I want to first apologize. The hotel didn't have, the water wasn't hot. This wasn't this. Nobody comes to hear you complain. They want to hear you share something to the heart. And then when you are done, how important is it for you to take time to interact with people?
oh my gosh, that's the most important thing, right? That's the most important thing. The reason why I'm even wanting to take the stage is to make connections with people, right?
Mhm.
People want to feel heard, people want to feel seen. People are looking for help. So how can I help other people? I can't just get on the stage and leave like sayonara, you know? Like no, like what is that? There's no point to that.
Yeah, I've watched that. I recently had an event we're at, and speakers got up and they were like da 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 da, and I'm doing such and such, and then when they were done, they just left, and I was like, that is arrogant. that was ignorant, and there was no reason to have them come. Because if you're not going to build relationships, you're not there to, if all you're doing is come, give me a check, or I'm coming to speak and I'm going to leave, you have nothing to offer anybody but your ego. And if you just need attention, then turn on live and just let people watch your live. Make it a reality show. Watch somebody pretend to be somebody that they're not. Call it that and be that. But if you want to really be a speaker isn't just a voice. A speaker is an amplification of something else. It's a representation of God. It's representation of your gifting, your talents, your abilities, and to pour that into people. If you can be that, you can change things, and there will always be stages for you. But who the heck needs another person who's like, all right, guys, thanks for paying me some money. I'm out. Nobody need that, man. But what I saw you do is you spend all that time with people, taking photos with people, red carpet people, having all that stuff, and I was just so proud to watch that happen because that's just if that's the beginning. Can you imagine where things are going?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, this is. I see people always like, hey, we got a virtual thing, and you're going to be a speaker at a virtual event. Man, I'm not looking virtual. Man, I'm looking to be in virtually every home impacted everywhere we can. You and I got an audience now bigger than most will have, whatever, because we are speaking into lives, and as people are watching, what advice do you give to up and coming speakers, a pathway they can go? How do they get going? How do they get somewhere? Because there's somebody looking at you and like, how do I get that? What give them some advice?
Put yourself out there. Act like you already have your platform. So, like for myself, I wasn't waiting for someone to come along to save me. I
Mm,
was going ahead as if I already had it. And then
yeah.
James just came along and then was like, come with me. I'm like, okay, let's go.
That is like awesome. I'm like, that is it, guys. You want to become something, the things you've been through develop you and prepare you for it. Jessica, we've got great things coming up. November the 23rd, we're in Loretto, Tennessee. I'm telling you, you're going to be like, oh my God, I can't tell you enough. Everybody, if you're coming, get your tickets now. There are only 20 VIP seats. They're $500. There's only $200 from additional to get you a room with it. And this is a five-star hotel. It would be $500 a night any way. You're getting that. If you don't, if you live nearby and want to stay elsewhere, it's just $200 to attend. But I'm telling you what, you don't want to miss this. VIP will spend time with the speakers. Guys, get your tickets. Go to Keystone Resort. You look it up. Look at the Keystone. And once you get there, click on the events, look at events, buy you a ticket. You can even call them and get the seat because you got to hear Jessica in person. Jessica, I'm so glad to watch you grow, watch your journey. Man, any final words you want to say to people this morning?
Have fun with everything that you're doing. Have fun, believe in yourself, and really just put God first and let go of the past. Figure out how you can make gold and,
Mm.
serve others. Life is short. Enjoy your life, make an impact, help each other out.
There we go. Listen, thank you, Jessica, for coming on. They'll see you all the time. So watch her journey, listen to the videos. When you see her, now you can connect with her. How do they follow you on social media? Can you give them the handles?
Yeah, everywhere you can find me, Jessica Carice. Jessica Carice, I think it's there on the screen. You can find me anywhere with that.
There we go. Jessica, thanks for coming on. I'll talk to you later. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you've been watching, you're going to watch people come and grow in this setting. You want to be a speaker? This is how you do it. You come, say, hey, coach, put me in the game. Let's develop the relationship, watch your journey, and then let me introduce the world to you and you to the world. You see, that's the way it goes. If you wanted to get somewhere, you got to be with people that are going somewhere. It's easier to go together. Join the community. We have the Peak Performance Masterclass that is available for you to attend, but we also have the Peak Performance Masterclass to learn from. You got to get in the community. Get in. It's gamified. You can, as you interact and as you grow, as you develop, you'll see things to go off. You'll grow and do great things. I want to close out with this, man. I got to tell you, there's a praise report. When we came on a few weeks ago, we were talking about Greg Reed. Dr. Greg Reed and Secret Knock out of San Diego. They put on the event. It's the #1 networking event in the world. That's how it's built. That's how you find it under Secret Knock. Well, his son, Colt, was involved with an accident. He's 12. Colt is like our baby. We're all raising this kid, loving this kid. He's got an amazing mom named Lynn. Lynn is like the greatest connector. She's known as the woman being. She is just so focused on women learning to love each other authentically. Well, the son gets involved with an accident, and they were hearing the worst reports. Maybe not walk, maybe not live, all these things. Man, we got together. We began to put prayer around him, surround him, support, rally for Colt. Colt walked out of the hospital. That is it. Man, when we think miracles don't happen, miracles happen daily. Speaking of miracles, there's a song that Dr. Walt Whitman of the Soul Children of Chicago will be singing called Miracles Still Happen. And one of those miracles is Colt Reed. Man, we love you, young man. Can't wait to continually see you, hug your neck, and see you walk in power and authority. For everybody from Absolute Motivation, Master Chief and I are out. We'll see you soon. God bless.
Say hi to James. Made me an entrepreneur. Teaching me day after day after day till it all was a blur. Now he on tour, he can drop in your city tonight. Never Zen coming in for the fight. Make